inside the vibe, welcome to the flow. From the mind of Lil Joe, where the stories grow. Laid back wisdom, smooth as Sunday brunch. A life of thought, he hits you with the punch. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talking about the world from the wild to the mild. Every topic on the table, thoughts free and wild. Chill like a summer breeze, groove so divine. From the cosmos to the corner, all intertwined. Retro funk with a lo-fi swing. Chill rap waves, let the podcast sing. Wisdom laced in humor, truths in disguise. Lil Joe dropping gems, open up your eyes. From late night laughs to early morning rants. Philosophies dance while the rhythm enchants. Relax, kick back, it's the vibe we sow. Straight from the mind of Lil Joe, let's go.
The Exchange Club Family Center is here to help parents learn how to provide a safe and healthy nurturing home environment. If you would like to be a part of the program and live in Nassau, Baker, or Clay counties, please go to the Exchange Club Family Center website at exchangeclubfamilycenter.com. Or if you'd like to become a member of the Exchange Club here in Jacksonville, please also go to our website again at exchangeclubfamilycenter.com.
Did you know, only a few years ago, getting on TV was almost impossible for small businesses? Today, everything's changed. Now real access belongs to everyone. For decades, it took deep pockets to get your message on TV or radio. The big companies had all the power, leaving everyday people and businesses out in the cold, but not anymore. At Purpose-Inspired TV, we believe everyone deserves a voice. We make it easy and affordable to put your content on platforms like Roku and Fire TV. No huge budgets, no tech headaches, just a clear path to reaching millions. We're not just another tech company. We're your bridge to new opportunities. Whether you're a business, an organization, or a dreamer with a message, this is your moment, so why not take that next step? Purpose-Inspired TV, access to the world for everyone.
What's up, everybody? Pray everybody's doing well. Let me see the sound. Mic check. Alrighty, let's get into it. Again, I pray everybody's doing well. If anybody's live here in Jacksonville, there's a great veterans event going on here on North Main Street tomorrow. I think 10 until, I'm not sure how late they're going to be there. But it's going to be a great event. I went by there today as they was closing, because I need to go back again tomorrow, because there was a lot of good resources up there for the vets. So let's get into it. So if you don't have your head stuck in the sand, there's a lot of stuff going on. But this one particular subject, it's a lot of stuff that's touching me, but this one touched me a little bit more than others, I guess, because I experienced it. Well, when I say experienced it, so you know what's going on. A lot of the African American history or contributions to America is being removed. A lot of books are being removed. Information is just, a lot of stuff just has been suppressed. So over the years, it's a lot of history that we don't even have records of. A lot of accomplishments that people of color, and not even other races, not only people of color, something like that, it's other races or ethnic groups that have had contributions to the United States but a lot of the history was hidden, or a lot of the white Americans took credit for what the other groups may have done. So after slavery and after the Jim Crow era and all of that, the black codes and all this craziness, we were able to start slowly releasing the history and teaching the history of the accomplishments of people of color. So it was a slow process. And then at the same time, a lot of people still didn't even want that to happen. They wanted to keep it hidden. They wanted to keep it squashed. But we actually started getting into a society where it was normal and they even accepted for Black history. That's really American history, especially American, born in America, lived in America, raised in America, contributed to building America. That's part of the history. So slowly, like I said, monuments and different things have been and things have been put up around the country to show that. So looked like we was making some progress, but at the same time, I'm sorry, got to look over here at this other computer. Um, like what they say, one step forward, four steps back. That's the way it seems to be here in America. So I want to show you this. I actually want to show you three things. Let's start off. One thing I want to show you is what really started this whole thing, this whole situation. Let me see if I do this. Sorry, do some background production while I'm talking. Um, Here's a prime example of African American and American history being removed right in front of our faces. So this is a news article uh, of what's going on right now. A little bit of background, and I can show you the pictures in a minute. Sharice and I, we went to a service for my great aunt up in New York last summer. And actually, sorry, I apologize. I actually drove. We drove, so um, I was able to. It's a lot of things that you can see more. We even went and saw visit one of her friends. You can see more things when you drive. You get to go into the nooks and crannies. So we were. I can't remember that were we on our way. Yeah, Maryland. Can't remember. Either way, I decided we was close to Philadelphia, so I decided to get off of 95. And yes, right, was going to see some relatives, but I decided to stop in Philadelphia. So I just stopped off in Philadelphia, just started driving around, and I don't know what sometimes I randomly stop. So I just drove around and I found, I think that was the president's house. I didn't, no, we didn't even see it. All right, let's see. I don't know what I was looking at, but I just found something historical. I never saw it before. Found a parking space, so we went for a walk. It was hard to find parking. We found a parking spot, went walking around and found like a historical area and kept walking until we stumbled across this right here, what we're going to be talking about. So when we stumbled across it, took a bunch of pictures. So now when it just hit the news yesterday, that's what touched my heart. Uh, I was thankful. I'm thankful that I was able to see it, but it's hurtful to see history that's being ripped apart in our face. So I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna play the article and then I'm gonna show you our pictures later. Here's the article. I don't know if I need to mute myself or not. I'll mute myself.
New details in the fight to restore exhibits about slavery at Independence National Historical Park. Yesterday, the National Park Service removed the displays following a directive by President Trump.
CBS Philadelphia investigative reporter Liz Crawford is live there with the developments. Liz.
Well, many people who visited here today said they wanted to see this for themselves after the displays were taken down. Now, handmade signs have been taped up here that say things like "Learn all history" and "History is real." Person after person showed up to the president's house in Old City, Philadelphia on Friday.
It's like breaking my heart.
Not to see what's at the exhibit, rather what's not at the exhibit. Thursday, staff with the National Park Service removed displays from the president's house, just steps from the Liberty Bell. The outdoor exhibit, which opened in 2010, was meant to examine the paradox of slavery and freedom. Presidents Washington and Adams lived at this site along with enslaved people.
Acknowledging that contradiction doesn't undermine the idea of America. It's the thing that makes us stronger.
A spokesperson with the Interior Department, which oversees the Park Service, said it is implementing President Trump's executive order on restoring truth and sanity to American history, which required federal agencies to review some materials to ensure accuracy, honesty, and alignment with shared national values.
You can't erase history. And I think it's foolish to think that you can.
The city of Philadelphia has now filed a lawsuit in federal court seeking to have the exhibit restored. The suit says the Department of the Interior violated the law by removing the displays without the city's permission. CBS News Philadelphia asked Mayor Parker for her response to the removal.
That agreement requires parties to meet and confer if there are to be any changes made to an exhibit.
City Council President Kenyatta Johnson called it totally unacceptable and said removing the exhibits is an effort to whitewash American history. History cannot be erased simply because it is uncomfortable.
To me, it looks like vandalism. They came and they took away stories that were very important.
Now, in a statement, the Interior Department said in part, "We encourage the city of Philadelphia to focus on getting their jobless rates down and ending their reckless cashless bail policy instead of filing frivolous lawsuits in the hopes of demeaning our brave founding fathers." I asked the Department of the Interior where they are currently keeping the displays and whether or not they are being preserved. No one has answered those questions. In Old City, Liz Crawford, CBS News, Philadelphia.
All right, Liz, thank you for that update.
That is sad. That's what I'm, like I said, thankfully I was able to go there for the first time. But yeah, I don't, we live down in Florida, so we don't get to go up to New York and Philadelphia that often. I've been to Philadelphia before, so it says 2010. I don't know. Probably the last time I've been to Philadelphia was before 2010, so I've never, didn't know that was there. So I'm glad to be able to see it. Now, just one thing is what's other people's opinion. So I guess the president saying any accurate history. So you heard it was two former presidents that used to live there, and they had slaves. So those pictures depict the life of the slaves, how they cooked. It was a lot of history associated with it. So to the people who's joining me, what's y'all opinion? So what do y'all say about them ripping down history? And I want to show you, if I can, I'm going to try to, let me see this, stop this. See if I can show you our pictures. Share. Photos. It'll be my first time doing that if this works. Let's see if this works. I need to drag this somewhere. So here's, oh, wait a minute. I can't even, where did, that's I lost a video. The pictures just filled up the whole screen. So I don't know if y'all can see this or not. So let me go where, I guess we can go this way. Yeah. What if I click on it? Can I go left and right? And so I think there's Jefferson. So people got to tell me. If I know behind me, if I turn around, or this picture is where the Liberty Bell is. And so what we're talking, well, y'all can't see my arrow. All the way down, you see, if you look straight down, it says National Constitutional Center. That's where the area is. So Sharice is over there by the Liberty Bell. It's in case, I know that when I went there years ago, it wasn't inside that glass. So they got it inside the glass now. So there's the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, but they're not taking the Liberty Bell. So those are the two presidents right there. The president's house um, this week. So George Washington and John Adams lived there. So here's where the house used to be. So that's what this location is in question is about. So that's looking back double direction. So here's the people who lived there. So this stuff here is what was ripped down. So I'm glad I got this information. So yesterday they just ripped this off the wall, and I'm gonna post these pictures again. Uh, so this is just real history of who lived there, how they lived, and even they had some video playing. That was a nice part. So all of that's been ripped down. What she's taking a picture of. Um, it just telling a life. Yeah, I think that's the video show. I forgot Chef Hercules. I had to dig some more, but that was a video looping talking about, I believe, the chef that used to cook for them. More history. So all of this stuff here has been ripped down because I guess our president says this make our country look bad. They do not want to learn about our history. That's the foundation of the actual house. I guess they found it. So they did a great job in preserving it and making it accessible to the public. It wasn't to um, cause problems or harm to anyone. I hope y'all can see these pictures because I can't see my screen anymore. So you see how it was nice. So the outskirts of the house is like there's TV monitors on the fireplaces. And like I said, it's history all around was history on every corner of this property. So it was a nice setup. Believe they said they put it there in 2010. All the history of the house. So, and that's across the street, Independence Visitor Center. I think, yeah, that's another look. So that if you was walking down the street back when the presidents were alive, that would be the entrance of walking into the house. And then I guess the slaves would be in the back who were all around doing whatever they used to do. Okay, stop sharing. So where's my, I apologize, y'all. Hold on. There y'all go right there. Did it? I don't know if I saw y'all saw the pictures. Okay, I apologize. I hope you did. Can give me somebody let me know? Did y'all just see those pictures I showed? But so now it's all ripped out. So I guess my question, what's the opinion? So that's why I named this "Hey White Man." We got to talk. I would like to talk with some white. I hate to keep saying white. I hate that we got to this point. But I would like to have feedback from white people and black people and white people that agree with it, white people who don't agree with it. I would like to get the feedback on what they say about it. So overall, I believe it wasn't causing any problem unless you hated people of color. That's the only thing, only way I can see it. So all the different things that we're going through right now is people who love the country, and the country is now they get mad about the melting pot. Country is a melting pot. This country is built of upon a lot of immigration. So what a lot of people in power are trying to do, they want to roll the clock back to just when the white people came here, quote unquote, rich white people. When they came in power, that's where they want to roll the clock back to. They want to roll it back to them and say they were the original, and they're the ones that should be here. So they don't want to roll it before they got here. So they don't call themselves immigrants. They call themselves what's the other word? Colonizers. So they said they came to colonize. Right? That's immigrant. So I guess already they're using that power. You see that power that goes with with racism. So everybody else was immigrants. Y'all just showed up here as immigrants, but we came over with power as colonizers. So since we were colonizers, we get the rights of being here and staying here, and everybody outside that wasn't a colonizers need to go. So that's kind of like where it is. But then there's other that agree this country is built. It's a unique country. There's a lot of countries is not like this. Some countries like a lot of majority of countries are not like ours, I believe, because a lot of countries the people have been there for uh, thousands of years, hundreds of years. But America, the natives, brown and black natives, were here before the quote unquote colonizers got here. So what do we do? What do we do? So I want to show you another one. Well, I'll wait on that one. But it's just we need to know our history, and by erasing it. Now I was just saying something this other day. At one point, people of color gonna know more about history, about America, than white people. Yeah, a lot of black people are gonna know more about history and know about the real history than white people, because the white people, a lot of them, I'm not saying all. There's never all. When I just say whatever I say is all. Most of the time is in general. So in general, white people are going to get left behind as far as the truth. They're just going to, they're going to get this whitewashed education. They're going to, this country, let's say like the White House was built by slaves. So now they can erase that and delete that truth about the slaves uh, building the White House. So now the white kids are pretty much going to be the only ones in the whole world that don't know that the White House was built by slaves. So they're going to go get on a test somewhere. They might ask, or even I can imagine being on a TV show like Jeopardy or something. Got people around the world, everybody know the answer except for the white Americans, because they're the ones that the history's been hid from. Like, we can't let them feel bad of knowing the real history. So everybody else gonna know. So they banning books, keeping the books away from them. People call us one. We got an oral history that we can continue to teach the oral history, and the other ones we got technology, we got the internet. So they do have ability to take certain things out, but other things they can't, and certain things that we can preserve ourselves. So looks like we need to almost got to get back to the point of needing a hard copy, the book yourself. That's a good time for a plug. I'm teaching a class right now. I have a 8-week uh, boot camp, the boot camp class on how to write and publish a book and an ebook. It's basic. Basically, after the 8 weeks, you will have a book in your hand, and you will have a book online for sale, an ebook online for sale. So just get with me. All right, back to the programming. um, so what's going on in the country? That again, that's what I really would like to talk to white people. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna reach out to some that I know, some of my classmates. They could be watching now. I've got some classmates that's diehard Trump. Trump could do no wrong. Trump is always right, but they had to say Trump was right about everything. They can't see anything wrong. And then the majority of them, they call themselves believers or Christians, And you know, normal people that's on the outside looking in, you say that does not line up with the quote unquote Christianity. It don't line up, but they don't care. They bend over back so they can contort themselves to make it fit, to make it fit in. But yeah, so I would like to have that conversation. Uh, so so what's going on with the Trump administration? I think they said it already. Like I said, it's part of the Project 2025 now, Project 2026, turning this into a quote unquote white country, which they said it was, but they're wearing a hat that says "Make America Great Again." Well, how many people actually dug into and see what that "Make America Great Again" stands for? What did it mean? So as you see, part of the process, you got to whitewash. I don't know if y'all know what whitewashing is. Is to cover up or try to hide the real history. So we just watched on camera. We watched live of history, American history, Black American history, just being ripped down with no care, no concern by the orders of the president. Because the president believes that, it's not only the president, we have our governor here, his vice president, several people that align with him, feels like the only history of the country is they want to talk about only the good things that the country has done. And I made a post this morning. I made a post. Wonder if I can find that. Yeah, let me find that picture real quick. I made, I made, whoa. I made this post this morning. Um, I'm sorry. One second. One second. One day I'm gonna have my crew. I'm gonna tell my crew to bring stuff up. It's gonna be easier to bring stuff up. Oh, come on, computer. Don't fail me now. There, real quick. But yeah, this was on my mind earlier today. Make that way. Is this it right here? Yes, it's a split. America have a split personality. Let me hit share screen. Wait a minute. Here we go. Hit that button and the window and that and share and share. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Zoom in and move it around. So this is what oh okay, what I wrote down here is it says the US did good and bad to become powerful, or they say the most powerful country in the world. I don't know if we still got that title, but to become the most powerful country in the world, it was good and bad. We were blessed for the good, but that mostly has stopped. So what's going to happen next? That's what my post. So if you look over here on one side, you got the civil rights, you got the Jim Crow and slavery, uh, the brutality of having people as slaves at one point, and then when they tried to get free from being slaves, they had to fight the police, fight dogs, fight water holes, fight being hung just to get freedom and equality. And guess what? We're doing that right now today. We're back to trying to have equality. Anything to do with equality and fairness, the government is destroying. So then a lot of people, they had the workers go work in the mines and the factories, and then slavery is still legal as long as you get arrested. And then over here, this is the only thing what the president wanted to show. But I don't know about the immigrant side. Statue of Liberty, where the white folks came in Uh, they used to uh, feed people around the world, used to let people become citizens. That's on Paul's stop right now. They used to help people during disasters. They used to help people in war. They used to help people get equality and equity. So it's a whole lot of they used to. But yeah, America's split. America is split. So what's going on with the government now is they want to erase the bad side. They want to erase the bad stuff. So any pictures like this, they want to destroy. Actually, and they're actually making new pictures every day, but they don't want people to know that. But they want to hide and destroy this history and only want to show the good stuff. And some of the stuff they want to remove that too. So they want to remove the real and dirty. But that's America. We're made up of the good and bad. That's why I say I love America. When I say I love America, I have to love America with the good, the bad, the ugly, the warts, the things I don't like about it. I want to try to change it, or I cut you off, cut you off, or try to do my part to help the country become better. So that's how you show love, is try to fight and change whatever the problem is, or fix. Should be fix instead of fight, but sometimes you got to fight to fix the issues. And just talking about it is not benefiting anybody. So that's my goal. That's the point. That's why I'm even talking right now, is to show people. I think a lot of people don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. I don't think a lot of people know that a lot of African American names are being removed off monuments. They even went, they so nasty. They so nasty. They nasty. Sorry. Well, when I say they, I mean the present government, the government that's in charge right now. They nasty. They went to some of the countries over in Europe. I can't think of the one right now. Um, and over there, they had some African Americans that went over there. How thousands lost their life fighting for this country, and when they came back, they didn't have any freedom. They have freedoms here. They were segregated in the military, but they still went and fought for this country to help these other countries. So a lot of them, they died over there. So in appreciation, the Europeans had monuments set up, and a lot of times it was for people of color who died saving their lives. So in appreciation, they put up a monument. So now today, this government right here, they go over there and try to take those monuments down. Well, not try, they did. They did take some of them down. And those people was like, we're not having it. And they either made them put it back up, or they put them back up. Um, so they're not putting up with the crap that we're putting up with over here. So yeah, so they want the government here wants to go around the world and find anything. That's one of the executive orders that they was talking about on the news. He want anything that's positive about people of color, anything, telling the truth about what happened to people of color. He want all of it hidden. He want all the monuments taken down. Everything he wanted erased or hidden. He said the world is not putting up with that. So we now it's like seem like we're helpless, but we still need to continue to educate. So I want to just real quick too go over a few of the other things where I just hit on. I know this lady's video. I didn't watch the whole video, but I believe she just can touch on a few of the things, other areas where African American history is being hidden, quote unquote, what we're saying, whitewashed, pretend it never happened.
We have seen the very
Hold on, back that up. I'm kind of like getting the hang of this, playing the video. Got to push about 5 or 6 buttons. Push that one, that button, that button. Okay, add it to the screen. Okay, here we go.
We have seen the very words used to describe Black Americans' experience with slavery and discrimination erased from federal recognition. We have seen websites purged of Black people's contribution to this country. President Donald Trump chose to commemorate Juneteenth with a social media post complaining about the number of non-working holidays in the year. President Trump promised to usher in a society that was
colorblind and merit-based.
Since taking office, President Trump ordered the Department of Interior to restore Confederate monuments that have been removed across the country over the past 5 years. We now have schools across the country facing the threat of losing federal funding if they support curricula such as Black and ethnic studies. Nowhere has the impact of these orders been more felt than at the Department of Defense.
I think the single dumbest phrase in military history is our diversity is our strength.
Black people have fought and died in every single war since this country's founding. It is a source of pride, and the fact that it is there that we are seeing the most aggressive efforts to remove that deeply seated piece of pride among this population has been devastating. We had to restore websites back after public outcry. When I speak to administration officials about this topic, they see these orders as a course correction from the last administration, who they believe largely engaged in very performative policy making, which this administration believes amounted to what they call reverse discrimination against white people. For historians who study Black history in particular, this all harkens back to some of the most painful times in Black history, a dehumanization of Black people in the face of progress.
And our country will be woke no longer.
What these orders have done is signal to this country whose history matters.
Okay, so now I even see I got a different understanding when the president say we're gonna be colorblind. That means we got to remove all color. That's well, we would not see. We do not see color. I see that meaning different now. If you're going around removing everything of color, so we thinking, or people of color, or people that's on his side, saying, "See, he doesn't see color. He's just going to see the merit." No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying anything of color needs to be removed or destroyed or forgotten. It needs to be gone. Does that sound like merit based? So you see, we know about DEI. We know how people were treated. People of color were treated. So they didn't have a fair. Nothing was fair. Absolutely nothing was fair. So the country decided to set stuff up to make it fair, and now they call that reverse segregation, reverse racism, to make stuff equal. So now they attacking the civil rights movement, attacking the civil rights movement. Why? Because the civil rights movement was for equality. So if you look at it as from the Black point of view, equality is a good thing. We get to catch up with the white folks. And you look at it from a racist point of view, not even talking about white people. I believe most white people are fine with equality. But then the racists, or the ones who were taught to be racist, we are upset because the Black folks are catching up with us. That means we're going to have to compete with them. We don't want to compete with them. We've had the head start. We've had the white privilege. And we're going to lose our white privilege if they have equality. So we need to get rid of that. And you just heard the guy that's over the military everybody always said the diversity has been the military. That what makes us some of the strongest military because of the diversity. And he said that's the dumbest thing. What did I can't remember word for thing? Is it the dumbest thing you ever heard? You can see that racism is just leaking out, just oozing out, and people say that's not racism. That's racism. That's that white supremacy leaking out. That white supremacy is only thinking that the white people are the only ones that can do anything, and people of color had to fight to prove that we have the same ability. As the best of the whites, they got people of color that can do just as good, but they don't want to believe that. They know that, but they don't want to believe that. They don't want to share that information. They want to keep it hidden. So they want to go back, regressive. So that people talk about the Democratic Party. Democratic Party is quote unquote progressive, moving forward. So the Republican Party, especially the MAGA, need to go backwards. They want to go backwards. They want to turn things backwards. No progress. We need to go back. There was a time where the whites were in charge, large and in charge. So that's what they want to go back to. And that's great. So I said from the beginning, the make America great again. Make America great for who? When was it ever great for people of color? When? What period of American history was it great for people of color? Start in front of me. I got. Well, I'm gonna say this before. There were some people of color in America, in North America, in what we now call United States. It was great for them before they showed up. I don't know if they talking about going back that far. So any other time, it wasn't great for people of color. We never had a great time, but the wealthy whites did. They did have a great time. So that's what they pushing for. So that's the big thing. It wasn't like America. It was this period of time where there was no crime and everybody was rich and all that. So when? So the president talked about the Gilded Age. The Gilded Age. That's when it was blacks and white. The poor. Oh my goodness. The poor was poor. The rich was rich. All the tycoons, the people that got on monopoly. Those people were so rich in gold, like the way the president tried to make in the White House. Got the big ballroom and big houses and gold plated and fancy this and fancy everything, just living large and just eating large. But then the normal Americans are starving to death or working themselves to death. So that's the great time that he's thinking about, not the ordinary workers. So that's make America great again. So yeah, like I said, I always like when was it great for people of color? It never was. So now when I see people of color wearing that hat, I'm like, what in the world is your problem? What is your problem? They don't they don't want you. They have you ever I know I've never been like a bully, but if you've seen like some bullies, it's got some people that keep hanging around no matter what they say to them. They can dog them out, beat them up, push them in the mud, do everything to them, but they still keep hanging around. I think that's what the black MAGAs are to the other MAGA. They're like, we say all this racist stuff about you. We taking away your history. We just doing everything that we can to show you that we don't like you, we don't want you. But they still tag along, still hanging around. We still tagging along. Um, but I don't know when they gonna grow up. So they get so mad. Ooh, you try to tell them some of the truth, they do the same thing. They can bend over backwards, defend Mr. Trump. And I even saw one. It was a guy. All these Epstein files. The Epstein keep going back and forth, back and forth. He's in the records. He's not there. He's in there. He's not in there. He's in there. We want. And the guy was somebody asked this one. this black guy, that super MAGA fan, and he was like, they was like, it's showing that he's in the files. Trump was in the files, and they got the pictures and everything showing that he is one of the people. So what do you do now? And he was the black dude was like, I don't know. I got to wait and see what Trump tells me to do. And that's why a lot of those um, people, and I call this, it's got to be a cult. That's how a lot of them are. Whatever he says, that's the wind, that's the direction they're going in. Even when before the election, no more wars, end all wars. And now he's starting the most wars, bombing the most people in most countries in a year, and he's telling. There's a funny thing. He's like, yeah, get those transgender men out of women's sports, so those men will not be taking awards from women. And then he did his best to take the Nobel Peace Prize from a woman. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he did everything he could to take that award, and they made up a peace prize with FIFA. But then he goes and start just blowing up and killing people. How you get a peace prize and you the one killing people and blowing up people and starting wars, basically trying to go to war with Europe. I mean, he's trying to go to war with everybody except for Israel. And Israel's the one that's teaching. That's another whole another several hours of talking about what's going on with that Israel, not the real Israel. But yeah, how you deserve a peace prize when you just causing chaos in your country? He is trying his best to get America in a I guess quote unquote civil war. It doesn't make sense. So he's right now. I guess the battlefield was in L.A. I don't know. I guess that didn't turn out too well. Now they got another. Let's go to Minnesota and battle it out over there. But it's talking about it's immigration. It's not immigration. You know how many here in Florida or in what's the closest country? Not. I'm sorry. The closest state. So we complain about the wall and how immigrants get across the wall and come into the United States, and we're going to crack down on that. So if it's happening, you got millions of immigrants in Texas, and that's where most of them are going to stay. Cause they don't need to go up to where it's snowing and cold at. But they decide to go to Minnesota and send all their men up there. So they really trying to get the immigrants. No, they are. They cause a habit. I think that's the biggest thing that causes a habit. I just made this post on somebody else's page the other day. Um, I'm sorry, he's going to keep on bringing up Obama. I think it's dumb to keep bringing up Obama and Biden, but they always say they try. It's a contradiction. Obama let all these people in the United States, and then they call him deporter in chief, something like that, because he deported so many people. How can it be both? But yeah, Trump. I'm sorry, Obama did deport millions of people, but it was done civilized. It was done decent, and in order. He didn't terrorize. He didn't bust up families. He did it the quote unquote the American way, the way it's supposed to be done, not the fake American way. So let me see if I got any comments. I was so dripping in. Okay, that might have been about the pictures. So what y'all think about it? What y'all say about the history? What about I know I got some teachers here. I know a lot of Black history books have been removed and many of them banned. Um, and some of them, it was like the Jackie Robinson story. It was nothing bad in that story other than the way he was treated when he was starting to play Major League Baseball, being the first black Major League Baseball player. I guess they don't want people to know that people of color had a hard time and they had to overcome and make it. So they want to erase that, and probably anything that's showing uh, his accomplishment, they want to erase it. And speaking of that, it's a lot of people and black people alike saying that how come it's always got to be about race? I was working on writing a book about that. Why it's always got to be about race? Black people always got to be talking about race, and they got to have memories of of what happened. So like that monument that one that just got destroyed in Philadelphia, they ripped down all the signs, they tore it all down. Um, so we're supposed to forget that. We're just supposed to forget about it, assimilate, think like white Americans, think only good, happy thoughts. Don't think about the things that happen. Don't even think about the stuff that's actually happening to you now. You just need to shut up, fall in line, let the white people get in front of the line, let the white people sit in front of the bus, let the white people get all the good jobs, let them do everything that they want, get the first picking, and then if they don't want to live with you, they don't have to live with you. They don't want to work with you, they don't have to work with you. Just let the white people be. And you can't leave. If you go try to start your own community and be successful, we can come and burn it down. We want you over here with us so we can oppress you. So you got to stay over here with us. Let us do what we want to do. Let us have our way. Let us be in charge. You just be our servants. That's how they want it. That's how the government right now want it to be. So and as far as come as history, all that bad stuff had nothing to do with us. It ain't had nothing to do with us. But then when it turns around, when okay, this how much time I got? 5 minutes. Here's a story. People always talk about they say, yeah, black people do it too. But that the Democratic Party, they was the ones that wanted the slaves. The Democratic Party, they the ones where the Ku Klux Klan was started. You know what? That's the truth. That is absolutely the truth. Then we tell them this. It was a great switch. They say, nah, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It happened, and you can see proof of it today. The great switch. The Democratic Party actually changed. They became progressive. They called it Progressive Party. They became progressive. They started allowing and listening to the demands for civil rights and equality. So the quote unquote party of Lincoln is supposed to be free the slaves. They were supposed to be the ones that was for the people of color. But both parties were against people of color. So now the Democratic Party started cracking. It's like, okay, let's give them some rights. Let's give the people of color some rights. And all the Democrats didn't like that. So the Democratic Party split, and there was another party from the Democrat Party called the Dixiecrats. Storm Truman. Can't think of his name. But anyway, the most racist of the racist people in the Democratic Party, they joined the Dixiecrats. The Dixiecrats stayed in the Democratic Party. They caused havoc and hell problems because they was fighting tooth and nail to make sure that those civil rights were not given to people of color. But they couldn't stop it. They couldn't slow it down. So now here comes the Republican Party. So like the Democratic Party had won the South, Democrats, it was there, hands down, Democrats. it was all theirs. So now, since the Democratic Party was changing, and they had a lot of disgruntled racist Democrats, didn't know what to do. So they were losing their party. Their party is changing. Their party is getting easy on those black folks. So now the the racist ones, they didn't know what to do. They still have power. They still was elected. Same thing. Those people that was in the Civil War against, that was for slavery, they ended up become politicians. But anyway, so now the Democratic Party is breaking up. They're ready to start passing some of these laws. These Democrats didn't like it. So now here comes the Republican Party. So, how can we start winning some of these elections? We need to go ahead and pick up those disgruntled, racist white folks that don't want the black people to have anything. So why don't we go down and swoop on in? What's that word? It's a word for that. It was before Reagan, but Reagan really ate it up, and Trump did too. Swooped on in, just told the poor white people how bad it is with the Democratic Party. They don't have any rights, and they're giving all the rights away to the black people if they join their party. That they're gonna start taking take the rights and stuff away. So the disgruntled and prejudiced and racist white people, they joined the Republican Party. That's when the big switch happened. It wasn't like overnight. It was like a small period of time. And oh man, that thing, how much time I got? 3 minutes. Just got to write it out. So I'm sorry, I got distracted. So anyway, it was a big switch. So a lot of even black people continue to say that didn't happen. It did happen. So the Democratic Party was the progressive. Now, a lot of those progressive laws, like the right to vote, oh, that's so bad. That's so liberal. All those evil liberal people gave those people the right to vote and the right to go to a better school, to get educated, and to be able to buy houses. Those nasty, stinking, evil liberal Democrats, they so nasty, they so evil. That's the most evil party on earth. You know that so many pastors white pastors are preaching that right now. They say how evil the Democratic Party is, giving them rights, and even Trump and um, Charlie Kirk, people don't stop kind of calm down on him, but they trying to put memorial monuments up about him. They was like the country was better before the civil rights. Better for who? Back to the white folks. It's better for the white folks. So now anything that benefits people of color and other races is good for them, but it's bad. So the MAGA and not all the Republicans, a lot of the Republicans, they are upset that if you make anything good for those people, that means it's bad for us. It shouldn't be that way. So there's my other point. So they quick to say that slavery and all that bad stuff, that wasn't them. That was on the Democrats, and that was those bad people. But they flying Confederate flags. They got Confederate monuments, and Trump done ordered a lot of those Confederate statues to be put back up. So when you say that to a Republican, oh no, they did that evil slavery stuff, but the Confederates, that's our heritage. That's our heritage. To fly the Confederate flag is our heritage. To have General Lee, Stonewall Jackson, a lot of those people who was pro-slavery, that's our heritage. But the slavery that they participated in, no, that's not our heritage. That's those Democrats. That's not us. It's the same people. No, it was them. The bad stuff was them. The glorious stuff is our heritage. So the Confederate flag that tortured so many people of color, the Confederate flag, they put them, prove, hey, this Confederate flag, even still today, causes fear to people of color. That's our heritage. But that hate and killing and hanging, no, that wasn't us. It was the same people. The same people who wanted the slavery, the same people who terrorized the people of color, the ones who hung them, beat them, stretched them, drug them, all sorts of, all this brutality under that Confederate flag. They're trying to, in one sentence, say that was the Democrats, that wasn't them. But then they want to fly the flag and says that it's heritage. It's kind of like wink, wink. We don't claim the bad stuff that comes with this. That's on somebody else. But we just claim our heritage. And I'm like, what heritage? Well, we fought hard. We was some hard workers. We built these farms and we plant these. Our ancestors planted the farms and got this land. But you had free labor. No, we worked. You have free. Your family ancestors had free labor, but you want to pretend that you didn't, and you just want to brag about how successful, like how great the country is, how great and rich America is, but we don't want to talk about who we stole from to get there. It's like you walking down the street, you see some men working, and it's their payday. You beat them up and take their check. You go home to your wife, and you proud of all the money that you're bringing home, but you don't want to say that you beat somebody up to get that money. But now, you live in large, you live in a nice house and everything, but the person, and then you go laugh at and kick and probably talk about the person that you beat up and took the money from, but you can brag about how great you are, but you stole it. So that's what's happening now. So America don't want to talk about what was stolen. We don't want to talk about the good. And then if there's any kind of leaks, anything that showed that we stole anything, we got to hide that. We got to take the sign down. We got to erase. We got to get rid of the history books. You got to hide it. And most Americans don't have a problem with the truth. Nobody is getting beat up and attacked for what their ancestors did. But if you want to continue to treat a person, so like that's what's happening is like we should be past what happened in the past, but the way people talk about diversity and people of color in history, we can see a lot of people that they're the ones that's still in the past. They talk about people like me that try to teach history and say I need to leave it alone and stop talking about it. Stop talking about what happened to black people. Just stop talking about it. We supposed to be colorblind. They giving you, that's a false colorblind. When they say colorblind, that means a workforce without color, colorblind, a neighborhood without color, businesses without color. They legalizing segregation. So our administration right now is doing everything in its power to make everything without color. They arresting brown people and arresting brown and erasing black without color. But a lot of people, they don't see it. They're going to twist over backwards and upside down to say that's not happening. But I tell you, that is what's happening. All right. I thank y'all for joining me this evening. Hope I gave you some good old education on what's going on around here. All right. Like I said, thanks again for your time. Hey, let me know what we're going to talk about next time. Keep your head up. Be encouraged. Stay encouraged. We're going to make it. All right. Until next time, I got some good stuff coming up. Good stuff coming up. All right. Everybody be blessed.